What does it take for a group of men to survive when the heart of Antarctica turns against them, leaving them stranded on shifting ice with no hope of rescue? This is the story of Ernest Shackleton and the crew of the Endurance, a tale of survival so extreme it has inspired generations. In August 1914, as the world plunged into war, Shackleton and 28 men set sail on the ship Endurance. Their goal was audacious: to be the first to cross the entire Antarctic continent on foot. Shackleton, already a veteran of the unforgiving polar regions, was chasing a dream of ultimate exploration. They launched from South Georgia Island, heading into the icy unknown to carve their names into history. But before they could even set foot on the continent, disaster struck. In January 1915, the Endurance became trapped in the dense pack ice of the Weddell Sea for 10 long months. The men were helpless prisoners, watching as the immense pressure of the shifting ice slowly squeezed their ship. On November 21st, the Endurance finally succumbed, its wooden hull splintering and sinking beneath the ice, leaving the crew utterly alone in a vast frozen wilderness. Their dreams of glory were replaced by a single, desperate mission: survive. With their ship gone, Shackleton's leadership was all they had left. After salvaging what they could, he established a camp on the drifting ice floe. His optimism was relentless, his discipline unwavering. He knew that keeping his men's spirits up was just as important as keeping them fed. He organized routines, games, and even theatrical performances to fight off the psychological demons of isolation and despair. As their food dwindled and the polar night descended, it was Shackleton's iron will that held the crew together. Their daily life was a brutal struggle against the elements. They faced constant sub-zero temperatures and the gnawing ache of hunger, surviving on a grim diet of seal and penguin meat. Frostbite was a constant threat, and the crushing boredom of their predicament tested their sanity. Yet, through it all, Shackleton maintained order, preventing mutiny and keeping a flicker of hope alive in the darkest, coldest place on Earth. After months adrift, the ice beneath their feet began to break up. The time had come for a desperate gamble. The men launched 3 small, salvaged lifeboats into the treacherous, storm-ridden Southern Ocean. After a harrowing 7-day journey through freezing waves and icy spray, they finally made landfall on Elephant Island, a barren, windswept rock, hundreds of miles from any shipping lane. They were alive, but still hopelessly lost to the world. Rescue from this remote outpost seemed impossible. Knowing no one would ever find them there, Shackleton made an almost suicidal decision. He and 5 of his toughest men would attempt an 800-mile open-boat journey in the James Caird, a 22-foot lifeboat, across the most dangerous seas on the planet to reach a whaling station on South Georgia Island. They battled hurricane-force winds, monstrous waves, and navigated by squinting at the sun through a tiny break in the clouds. It was a voyage that pushed the limits of human endurance. Miraculously, they made it to South Georgia, but on the wrong side of the island. A final, insurmountable barrier stood between them and salvation, an uncharted, razor-sharp mountain range and glaciers no one had ever crossed. Exhausted and frostbitten, Shackleton, along with 2 other men, made a mad dash across the frozen peaks. In a moment of sheer desperation, they tied themselves together and slid down a steep ice face, risking everything for speed. Against all odds, they stumbled into the whaling station, their faces blackened by frost and their story so unbelievable that the seasoned whalers could barely comprehend it. But the ordeal wasn't over. Shackleton's first priority was rescuing the 22 men he'd left behind on Elephant Island. He immediately began organizing a rescue mission. The first attempt failed, blocked by impenetrable ice. The second attempt failed. The third attempt failed. The Antarctic winter was closing in, and time was running out. But Shackleton refused to give up. On his 4th try, aboard a small steam tug, he finally broke through the ice and reached Elephant Island. In a moment that has become legendary, he stood on the deck and counted his men on the shore. They were all there. After nearly 2 years of unimaginable hardship, every single member of the Endurance expedition was saved. Shackleton's story is more than just a tale of survival. It's one of the greatest examples of leadership in history. His ability to inspire hope and maintain unity in the face of complete catastrophe is studied to this day by leaders in business, the military, and beyond. In 2022, over a century later, the wreck of the Endurance was discovered, perfectly preserved in the freezing depths. It stands as a silent monument to an expedition that failed in its mission, but achieved something far greater. A timeless testament to human resilience and the unbreakable power of hope. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.